Coach. Opening up conference play on Saturday. If you want to kind of rewind how pre-conference has been going and leading into Saturday's game.
Yeah, I think we're making the right steps. I think every game we keep improving. Even on Monday night, I liked a lot of things. I like a lot of things that we did well. As far as our defensive intensity is there, and we're rebounding better. I feel like we put two quarters together against Oklahoma State. We just needed the last two to be better, but I think we were improving every game. Now we just got to continue to do it on the court, and continue to play, at a high level. I think sometimes we take possessions off, and you can't do that, especially in conference play. And so I think we're learning that through the non-conference. You can see us get better in the MTE a couple weeks ago, and so we need to carry that into Saturday against Southeastern.
Playing those tough games in a more difficult
Yeah.
non-conference
Yep.
schedule. How has that prepared you for these games and knowing that conference play is right around the corner?
Well, we talked a lot about possessions, and you see the importance of possessions. You can't take a possession off, especially against, the teams that we played in the non-conference, and um, we had to learn some tough lessons, in some of those games. But especially the runs that teams have had against us, we've got to limit those. And we saw last night with Southeastern and Nichols game, it was a game of runs, and both teams were 8-0 runs, 6-0 runs, 7-0 runs. So we've got to be able to be better in those moments and take care of each possession as they come, defensively and offensively. So I think we're learning that. And then just have players step up in moments. I think we're getting that at times. It's been nice to have Paris back, and she's been our leading scorer the last two games, but she's still not at the level that we want her to be, and I think that she wants to be too as well. So hopefully she gets more comfortable Saturday and has another great game, and then everybody else step up in that moment too.
Is it stopping their runs? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're a really good team, and you could tell they have veteran leadership. And even last night, even when they got down five with like 2 minutes to go, you could tell they just were composed. They didn't panic, and it was kind of a mirror of our game last year. Here, you could see, them just run their stuff, get the shots they wanted to, and go their go-to players. And so I think they're probably more balanced this year, offensively and defensively, and I think that they're playing at a higher level. They beat some good teams in the non-conference, so it's a tough challenge for us. But I also think that we're ready for this opportunity to go into Saturday and have them on our home court. We've got to play our best game of the season so far, um, but it is a challenge to stop their runs, but at the same time, we've got to be able to shoot the ball better. We've got to be able to lock in defensively, and we've got to be able to rebound against them.
Them playing them this early, you do get them at home though, and you have
Yeah.
played well at home against them the last couple
We
of years.
have, yeah.
Is that a confidence boost for this group?
Yeah, I think as much as it can be. I think definitely we want to play at home, and so that's a good thing. It's definitely different to have it this early. So it's the challenge of right before a little bit of a break for us. First conference game, they've already played one. We've had a tough non-conference schedule, so the combination. I'm excited to see how we come out. I mean, that's really where I'm at. I'm excited to see if we rise to the challenge and we're ready for conference play. And we believe we are. We're confident, but at the same time, you've got to go and do it on the court. So it's exciting to see, Southeastern come to the Legacy and see if we're ready for that game.
And, in scoring, you're plus 80 over your opponents in the first half. You're minus 30 in the
Yeah.
second half.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you got to work on in the second half?
Well, it's been the third quarter, and it's a man. It's been interesting too, because a lot of things that we tried to adjust at halftime, we're not doing it in the first few possessions right out of halftime. Oklahoma State was a good example of that. I felt like we were in the game 2 or 3 possessions there at the end of the second quarter. I mean, it's probably a 4 or 5 point game. Instead of 15, they hit a half court shot. It becomes 18, but I still felt like we were in the game. But then we didn't do those things we talked about at halftime coming out of the locker room. So again, we've got to be a team that does that, come out, lock in, especially on the defensive end. The adjustments that we make, we've got to be able to do that, and then continue to take open shots and knock them down. I think we've had those shots, especially the last 2 weeks. Um, we've missed a lot of layups, and I think some of it is the opponents, but I think we've got to be better at finishing stronger at the basket and then knocking down open shots when we get those too as well.
Is it kind of a strange game because you have Christmas break coming up? You want to stay focused, but you're not really into the whole rhythm of the league yet.
Yeah, you don't want to put too much emphasis on one game, but it is a big game for us. It's a rival game. It's a first game. It's at home game. It's against a really really good team, but at the same time, it's one game too. So we do get a couple of days after the game to. We need to get healthy too. We're beat up right now, and so we need to get healthy. So we're kind of limping into it, but we're going to be ready for the challenge and for this opportunity to play them. And at the same time, then you've got to almost refocus for conference play after the break. You get a week and a half to practice and kind of refocus for those road games. So it is a little bit different mentality, and we've had some teams played early December, some teams played last weekend, and some teams played this week. So we may be one of a few teams that haven't played a conference game yet.
Julia's out, right?
Yeah, she's out.
Is anybody else out?
Alva's out. Yeah, Alva's out.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of back. We got a couple other entries that we're trying to work through this week, but everybody should be available. But yeah, we do have a couple other.
And Paris has admitted she played 30 the other night.
She did, and it was kind of a test to see how she responded to treatment. So far, so good. So we'll see. Yeah, Saturday.
So
How she does,
wait and
yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's kind of a wait and see.
Will
Yeah.
she have limits on her at all?
Not as much as she has. Yeah, I think this was kind of the first game that we kind of, let her play, and her and I just communicate throughout the game. How you feeling? How things going? Do you need, 2-3 minute segments, or you a little bit longer? We were able to do that against Oklahoma State a little bit longer. I think she was on 3 to 4 minute segments. So just kind of see where she's at with her minutes. Yeah.
The last 2 years, it's been kind of a missed layup last year.
Yep.
And not being able to grab a rebound at the end of the game the year before. Do you feel like you're that close to them, or
Yeah, we're
at
due.
least here?
Yeah, we're due. And I think, we've played actually almost every game we've played well against them. I think sometimes it's just having the next opportunity, being prepared for it, and then going out and winning those games. And so I think we've had that through the non-conference. We've had that where we've been in close games, and then, games that we've won. And so we need to just step up in that moment and be better. And last year, I think our youth took over a little bit in that game. You could see that. But again, we had an opportunity to get a stop at the end. We got kind of mixed up in what we were running, and we shouldn't do that. We're better now, and so be able to close out those games.
Do you think, talking about closing games, do you think Guillory can kind of fill that void at times when you just need to find some points, find a bucket, just give it to somebody that can kind of, stop the bleeding for a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could see that in the first 2 games that she's played. I think that she fills that void for us. She's kind of a go-to player for us. At the same time, she can take a role too, and we have 4 or 5 others that can step up. But now you have that one extra player that can maybe take that shot or take that attack that you need, or get a stop. You can call on that player to do that. I think she is that player.
Anything else?
All right. Thank you all. Yep.